Good morning, friends. Welcome back to Keim Farms. Today we are all about planting. We've been planting flowers, planting all sorts of stuff, but today we are going to be planting lots of tomatoes and as many veggies as we can get in the ground. So here is our tomato setup. You guys haven't seen it all finished. We've already started planting some tomatoes yesterday. We've kind of laid them all out. We'll get them all in the ground today. And then we planted all of our zinnias. We got them all in the ground. We got a little more space in that bed for some more flowers that we have. And then lots more to plant in the garden. So let's get to work. So I've gotten about, I think, 2.5 rows done. I'm still working on it. It's kind of been hit or miss today. My little one was not wanting to take a nap, so she finally went down. But we're getting them in the ground. They're kind of looking droopy. They all need a good drink. I'm trying to water as I go and as I can. And it is super hot. We're kind of in a heat wave for right now. It's not normally this hot. It's in the 90s. This week, and that's a little hot for us in May. It makes you feel like it is June or July, but it is still May and we're having 90-degree weather, so everything's kind of like, it's so hot. So we're trying to keep everything watered and kind of stay on top of it, but we're gonna keep plugging away at these tomatoes, get them all in the ground. So I got all the tomatoes planted finally, yay! And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go through and kind of make a chart on a notebook of what's where, so that as time goes on we know what tomatoes are what, because the little signs will wash away and fade over time, so just to kind of keep track as much as we can. We already had a little bit of mix up. I took, before our plant sale, I took out the best plants that we had and set them aside for us. But somehow along the way, I ended up with a bunch, their labels either faded or got washed away, or I didn't label them. So I have several that I'm not quite sure exactly what they are. So some of them we may not know, or we'll have to see when they produce their fruit. But I'm gonna go ahead and label all the ones I know so we can keep track the best we can. Alright, so I got it all labeled. I counted up, we have 126 tomatoes and room to plant 2 more. So that would bring us up to 128 tomato plants. So that's a lot. I think that's probably the most we've ever had. So pretty excited for tomatoes to come. Alright, I think I'm gonna go to the greenhouse and pick out a couple more tomatoes just to fill in the last 2 little spots that we have. Before I plant these new tomatoes, these extra ones, I'm gonna go ahead and water the greenhouse. It is just so hot. Everything in here is droopy and thirsty, hoping that some water will help give it a little bit of relief. It's a couple days later. We've been doing lots of work, staying busy. I went through and planted some herbs, kind of intermittent with the tomatoes, and some white marigolds. I still got to go back and get our other French marigolds planted in here. But we got all the herbs, we've got all the cucumbers done, and now I'm going to go and start working on planting all of our peppers. And we're almost got everything planted. We're getting closer day by day. Here's some of our marigolds we've got in here. These are white marigolds. Also got some borage we put in here. We've got our dill. All of it's kind of a little droopy, you know, just some transplant shock. I probably need to go in here and trim this up anyway. And then I've got some basil sprinkled throughout. Here's some of the basil. I also planted some nasturtiums, and that's some sedum there, kind of here along the path. Figured why not? So those will get big and bushy. Got some cucamelons planted here. We've also got some over by our berry bushes. Everything's kind of a little droopy just because it's been hot and just getting accustomed to being transplanted. Here's the greenhouse. It's getting more and more empty. Here, let me step in so you can see we've got empty shelves that used to be full. All of this on this side is still plants that we have for sale. We have our first market coming up this weekend. It's a new market we're doing, and hopefully we'll take some of these plants and get some more of them sold, and not be stuck with them. If we are stuck with them, we're gonna have to figure out where to plant them because we don't have any room left. So we'll see. Here's kind of all of our pepper plants we need to get in the ground. Alright, here's what we've got. So I went through and I laid out the peppers and the places I want them. I've got peppers here, kind of peppers all throughout the garden, and now I'm going to go through and get them planted. We got all the pepper plants planted. So I've got some here, here, and then we have a whole bunch back there. I went ahead and planted some ground cherries here, something new we're trying. They're in the middle, kind of separating two different types of peppers. I have a few more ground cherries still to plant over here. But that's going to conclude it for this video. We've just been planting lots of stuff. We've almost got all the plants in the ground. Got a few more seeds to do. And then it's just waiting for all the goodies to come. So until next time, keep growing through the struggles and successes, the memories and messes, and let's grow something beautiful together. Bye guys.